Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is us.
Sportsmanship is when an athlete walks off the court and you can't tell if he won or lost because he carries himself with pride either way. This quote is an embodiment of sport, and for me, sport is an embodiment of life. We are where you are.
Get the story first. Want to know what's happening in news, sports, or crime? Get the CNC3 app. As the story breaks, CNC3 is there giving you the story first on your mobile device. Be connected to the most trusted and reliable news source, CNC3. Access your world with just a tap. The CNC3 app. Download it today. Make sure you have yourself a great invest week by viewing The Bourse Report every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. during CNC3's The Morning Brew. You'll get sound financial advice, whether you're a new or experienced investor, when you view The Bourse Report. CNC3, covering your world.
Are you tired of the same old boring drive home from work? Look no further. Get ready for the ultimate after-work rush with Freedom 106.5 FM's The Overdrive with Davey. Mondays to Fridays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Let Davey take you on a thrilling ride of non-stop entertainment and education. He covers the topics of the day, delves into the latest food and lifestyle trends, and brings dynamic guests from exciting professions to share their professional stories and experiences. Take advantage of this energizing and engaging experience. Tune into Freedom 106.5 FM, Mondays to Fridays, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. for The Overdrive with Davey, the ultimate way to end your day with a bang.
Before we get into the discussion with the president of the Agricultural Society of TNT, just to let you know, the Member of Parliament for Caroni East described the aftermath of last week's flooding as devastating, with affected residents already applying for relief grants. Now, the Agriculture Minister also weighed in and said that work will continue ensuring that farmers, who are not adversely affected by future weather conditions. So again, just to get some perspective before we get into our discussion with the president of the Agricultural Society of Trinidad and Tobago. Check this out.
In the wake of last week's downpours that left parts of the island underwater, the Member of Parliament for one of the worst impacted constituencies, Caroni East, says those in areas such as St. Helena and Las Lomas are still reeling.
We don't have sufficient amount of supplies to give every single body, but those are the hardest hit. So today my office, the Caroni East office, they are on the ground, they are assessing persons who may have had water in their homes, and those are the persons that we're trying to target in terms of giving the assistance.
Dr. Rishad Sicharan confirms that he's been receiving applications for flood relief grants. The Rural Development and Local Government Minister Khadija Amin adds that damage assessments are underway across all regional corporations.
Inside their homes, they would have had damage, furniture, appliances, and so on. There were a couple of people who had damage to the house itself, the structure itself, and we have asked each corporation's engineer to do an assessment of what is happening.
Between last week, Wednesday and Friday, several adverse weather alerts were issued cautioning against rising waters and severe winds. As the skies now clear and waters recede, Amin notes that another battle looms.
What we have also observed is that several instances of landslips that may be threatening homes, so they would not be recorded as a damaged home on this instance. But based on what's happening, I could see very soon that those households will be impacted.
Meanwhile, Agriculture Minister Ravi Ratiram says steps taken to clear watercourses, particularly near farmlands such as in Arangwes, mitigated flooding impacts. He says affected farmers, however, will be provided with relief.
Our officers are out there doing the data collection, and we're working very closely with these farmers to see how best we can provide some level of support in going forward.
While Ratiram painted a sobering picture of the scale of devastation, he slammed the previous PNM administration for failing to take the necessary works to help vulnerable low-lying communities. Jesse Ramdale, CNC3 News.
And there you heard it from Minister Ratiram. He said that work will continue to ensure farmers are not adversely affected by future adverse weather conditions. And in that regard, let me bring the president in, president of the Agricultural Society of TNT, President Darrell Rampasad. President Rampasad, I want to say good morning, and I'm sure the words of the minister will bring some level of ease, but I know you're dealing and treating with the impact of last week's floods as of right now. Walk me through the conversations you've had with fellow farmers and what's the current situation in the areas most impacted.
What we are facing in some of the areas is up to 100% losses coming out from some of the farmers.
Total loss.
Total losses.
What areas are we looking at, President?
Right, so you would have areas such as Orange Grove, which is a major planting project where we have farmers with total losses inside there. There are parts of Kunupia and so on where we have total losses. We have St. Augustine South, total losses. We have parts of Tamaki, total losses as well too.
Let me ask, for compensation to be delivered to these farmers who would have been impacted, do they need to have tenure of land, or do they, what's the paperwork required when they submit to get this kind of compensation?
Well, of course, they must have land tenureship. And this is something that we have been lobbying for. The Agricultural Society has sent forward a petition, I believe that was the beginning of 2022, asking for consideration to be given to all farmers in production. Because if we want to drive production and we want to support our farming community, we need to pay attention and lend support to all those individuals who are in production. However, because of the criteria, it is limited to all farmers in production, because we have a huge percentage of the farming population that is either on squatting land or rented land at the same time. And this percentage will not be able to benefit from the agricultural incentive program. They will not be able to make a claim because of the criteria. And this is something that we have been lobbying for over the past couple of years, to give consideration to all farmers that are in production. All right? And a simple assessment will tell all those who are in production. And of course, when we ask for the criteria to be changed, it must of course look at the laws of Trinidad and Tobago. So if it is that you are, dangerously or cutting down the forest reserve, you will not be observed at that point in time, because we cannot encourage persons to break the law. But at the same time, all those individuals who are in production, I know some farmers, and I have complaints coming out of St. Augustine South, that they lost every single thing. Right, there's a particular area there where they have many family members planting there, and imagine your entire family losing at the same time. What is going to take place?
Who deals with the quality control to ensure that crops that would have been impacted by the rains are not sent or put in a position for consumers to who's to really say, well, somebody mightn't want to put these crops in the market, and by extension, the consumer now is eating something that would have been impacted by the floodwaters.
The most that can take place is that coming out from the Ministry of Health or even the Ministry of Agriculture could be an advisory note. But in most cases, there's nobody that deals with the monitoring of this type of produce to ensure that it doesn't reach into the market. And I would say it's rather unfortunate for the farmers, because as a farmer, if this is all you have, a farmer will try his best to salvage what he could to raise the necessary funds to move on as a sole trader. So in most cases, what you would see sometimes is some of the produce coming into the market. And we need to be mindful at the same time that this produce, as much as we support our farmers, could be contaminated produce as well due to the floodwaters.
And will it also impact the price on goods? Obviously, you know, with the loss of so many crops, what's going to happen to the existing crops, the one that the produce that would not have been impacted by the floods?
Well, of course, the price of goods, what we could expect is a huge increase in some of the commodities, which will include crops such as tomato, sweet pepper, cabbage, Millergen, hot pepper. You can expect to see a steep price increase in some of these commodities due to the loss that we face in the last couple of weeks, because our market is a simple market. Our farmers, most of our farmers do not produce towards a contract market. We produce towards the open market, where, of course, is based upon supply and demand. And where it is that the supply will decrease due to the damage from flooding, you would see an increase in food prices over the next couple of weeks.
Would you say urban development is a factor? Because when you consider a place like Aranguez, where when you look at Aranguez now, so many apartments on farmlands, and with that will have its drainage issues, and I'm seeing many in the Aranguez area would have been impacted in a major way with last week's rain.
Well, as you mentioned, Aranguez is one of the areas that we could actually commend the Minister of Agriculture on. Because when the rain started, he went in there, he took a hands-on approach, and they started clearing most of the channels, and we were able to alleviate, you know, the amount of damage that we would usually receive in Aranguez due to that action. And I mean, it shows that if it is we have the political will to get the job done, we can do it, right? Because if it is that, take into consideration some of these same areas that were once agricultural land, when they go into industrial usage, they don't have flooding anymore, because we look into the infrastructural issues. And that is what we need to start treating agriculture with. We need to start looking into the infrastructural issues as it surrounds the agricultural sector, because again, you mentioned housing, but housing is as equally as important to agriculture at the same time. And we need to look into the issues that affect the farmers. We need to look into those agricultural infrastructural issues and how it is that we could deal with it, take a hands-on approach, and look at it in the dry season and try to get it out before the rainy season, so that we do not reach this situation. And whilst I understand that the government claimed that they inherited this issue as well, we look forward to the next year as well, when it is that we can mitigate such issues at an earlier time frame.
President Rampersad, finally, I want to ask you, are there measures farmers could implement independently to assist when this rainy season, well, we know it comes around every single year, but are there strategies you could put in place to protect yourself, as it were, during the rainy season?
As a farmer, and when it comes to dealing with infrastructure, right, or even dealing with pests and diseases, the same. I could deal with it at my household, but if my neighbor is not doing his part, it's not going to happen. We need to take a collective approach to it, right? And at the same time, what we would see as well, and I want to urge our farmers as well, when it is that you get your channels cleared, right, on behalf of the government, please try your best to maintain these channels at the same time to allow the water course to flow freely. What we see sometimes is that the channels are cleared, and some of the individuals leave the channel with the debris and the grass to grow and so on, right? Pleading with them, please try and maintain your channels, keep it cleared, and at the same time, we want to encourage all those who can afford at this point in time to start looking at the future, looking at new technologies in agriculture, more protected systems in which it is that we can continue to have a sustainable agricultural sector.
Really fast, did you meet with any of the ministers just yet, Rural Development, Minister Amin or Minister
we met with the Minister of Agriculture thus far. And
was it fruitful? You know, was it a good, promising meeting?
It was a promising meeting, and we want to commend him because it's just a couple of weeks. And seeing a minister outside on the ground, hearing the views of the farmers and trying to address it hands out. I believe that this is the quickest that we have seen some of the action taking place as it pertains to drainage, where they were able to secure excavators and so on in the different areas around West and Gillingham and other agricultural communities at the same time. I believe there's equipment all in Plumiton and all these areas too. So we hope that the momentum that has started, that we can continue with that. And if it is that we can continue with that, I know that we will have a very promising agricultural sector.
And finally, in the couple of seconds that remain, you think farmers will still continue to keep the tradition of Corpus Christi planting, putting the planting in place for Corpus Christi holiday?
I believe they will continue with that because as Trinidadians, we are very traditional at the same time too. And we need to be mindful and we need to remember that this is not just that, this is their livelihood as well. So the farmers with their backs against the wall, they have no other choice but to continue to plant at the same time.
President Rampersad, I want to thank you this morning for the time. Keep us posted, because obviously your role and function and the role and function of the farmers is of paramount importance to our food security. Thanks for keeping us in the loop. That's right. Very important conversation there. Let's take that pause, reminding you that tomorrow, the mid-year budget review, we will have our own analysis right here on CNC3, right after the 7 p.m. news.
Rudy celebrates 10 years with his one-man show, Love Is, June 21st and 22nd at Queen's Hall. One children's show, 2 adult shows, 1 hilarious weekend. So wait, who on this Love Is show? Apple, Wetty, Flicky, Jessica, Cherise, Maya Kai, Mr. Trevor, Miss Janice. Alrighty, rock. Wait, I not hearing my name. We have Jean Paul from Canada, Penelope from Belmont, and Cecilia from Digo. I still not hearing my name. Tickets available at Dorman Shoe Store, Beachology, Mokurapa Road, Gate Square Stores, Eastgate Mall, Brentwood Plaza, The Falls at West Mall, C3 Center, San Fernando, Electronics Arima, Queen's Hall box office, and online at islandetickets.com. All year Roddy only using me and I not in the show who he feel I is. Bubbly Builder. For more info, call 376-5699 or 683-4843.
With Redoxytose Plus, you'll notice their defenses kicking in. Strong defenses look so good on your kids.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488, 701-6680, 728-6786, or visit our website to order. Eye care tips for Seaview Optical. Eat well. Good eye health starts with the food on your plate. Nutrients like omega-3 fatty acids, lutein, zinc, and vitamin C and E might help ward off age-related vision problems. Quit smoking. Makes you more likely to get cataracts, damage to your optic nerve, and macular degeneration. If you have tried to kick the habit before only to start again, keep at it. Wear sunglasses. The right pair of shades will help protect your eyes from the sun's ultraviolet UV rays. Use safety eyewear. If you use hazardous or airborne materials on the job or at home, wear safety glasses or protective goggles.
Get the best and affordable eyewear. Frames with blue filter lenses and eye exam, $399. Single vision lenses with transitions on designer frames, $799. Progressive transitions with designer frames, $1,399. Happening only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
He hit me. Will CG United cover this?
Don't worry. Remember when I was in that competitive arm wrestling circuit? 3-time champion, baby. I did feel bad crushing all those arms and dreams. So I took them all out for ice cream. And then we got crushed. Anyway, CG United handled my claims fast.
That explains the arm.
The best cover for the best value. CG United. Good like that.
I'm looking for a magic for this disaster of a war.
You need a master plan.
A what?
Kaleidoscope Weather Master Exterior Latex Emulsion. It stands up to our wicked sun and crazy way. It shields against fading, protects against mildew, and is crack resistant. This paint so tough that it is tried and tested against British standards and formulated with European raw material.
Kaleidoscope Weathermaster Exterior Latex Emulsion, the premium outdoor paint that protects and shields against fading. Available at hardware and Kaleidoscope color shops nationwide.
This is not a procedure. It's just a hard-working cream.
Revitalift Triple Power with pro-retinol, hyaluronic acid, and vitamin C visibly reduces wrinkles, firms, and brightens skin in 1 week.
Ladies, it's time to ask for more.
Revitalift Triple Power by L'Oreal Paris.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
Sportsmanship is when an athlete walks off the court and you can't tell if he won or lost because he carries himself with pride either way. This quote is an embodiment of sport, and for me, sport is an embodiment of life. We are where you are.
A very good morning. I'm Akash Samaru with headline news on CNC3 and the TBC radio network. The Prison Officers Association is commending some of its officers for exposing a colleague charged for smuggling contraband, including cocaine, into the maximum security prison in Arouca. Contacted for a response to reports that a 28-year-old officer from Williamsville was detained, Association President Jared Gordon said the association has a zero-tolerance approach to contraband smuggling, which he says could damage the reputation of the prison service and its members. He noted that the officer's colleagues were vital to the probe.
We applaud the effort of prison officers who are actively involved in getting rid of those officers who would want to breach the rules and regulations.
President of the Carsonfield Village Council, Shiraz Khan, is calling on Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissassa to fast-track the legislation for firearms users' licenses. His appeal comes as Carsonfield residents battle with crime. Khan said in recent times, 2 people were killed and 8 people shot. In a media briefing on Monday, Khan called for more patrols from the police and predial larceny. He said MP David Lee has asked for 1 week before meeting with them, but he insists they need immediate action.
And I'm calling also on the Prime Minister, who was the opposition leader, who said that she will be giving people the FUL. Madam Prime Minister, I agree you now get into office, but that shouldn't be hard for us to get our FUL. Do not force some people to go into any vigilante system.
And the Member of Parliament for Caroni East, Dr. Rishad Sicharan, says the aftermath of last week's flooding in his constituency is devastating, with affected residents already applying for relief grants. Meanwhile, the Agriculture Minister says works will continue to ensure farmers are not adversely affected by future weather conditions. He says affected farmers, however, will be provided with relief.
Our officers are out there doing the data collection, and we're working very closely with these farmers to see how best we can provide some level of support in going forward.
Well, those were your 7 a.m. news headlines. We'll have another news update at 8 a.m. right here on CNC3 and the TBC radio network.
As parents, we want the best for our children, to see them grow up healthy, happy, and strong. But did you know that there's a virus so common that most people have it at one point in their lives?
HPV stands for the human papillomavirus.
It's a virus that can cause cervical cancer and other types of cancers. But the good news is, there's a way to prevent it.
So is the HPV vaccine really necessary?
Yes.
The HPV vaccine helps your child's immune system fight the virus before it can do any harm, between ages 9 to 26 years old.
But Doc, I heard this vaccine is only for girls.
The HPV vaccine is given to both boys and girls. It protects against penile and cervical cancers.
The vaccine is safe, effective, and recommended by professionals worldwide. It's available through school programs and health centers at no cost. Let's give our children the protection they deserve. Let's be HPV heroes. Get them vaccinated today.
Period nights don't have to look like this. Move less, wake up to change. So change for a real night's sleep with Always Overnight. Its 3 times protection system absorbs, locks the fluid, and keeps it away from your skin. For protected nights without leaks. Always.
Have you ever experienced an unexpected power outage? The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management has some important and simple tips to help you and your loved ones be better prepared for a power outage in the event of a disaster. 1. Ensure that you have candles and extra torch lights as alternate sources of lighting. 2. Keep fully charged power banks to recharge your devices. 3. Use hand-cranked radios to receive updates from official sources. 4. If possible, keep a power generator or AC inverter that can be connected to a car battery to use as an alternate source of power. 5. Ensure your grab-and-go bags and home emergency kits are packed and ready. The ODPM wants you and your loved ones to be better prepared. For more information, visit www.odpm.gov.tt. A message from the ODPM.
People come to me and they say they get discomfort when they have ice cream. Sensodyne gives you long-lasting protections against sensitivity. I recommend Sensodyne because it works. It's brilliant.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chabonas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
Five minutes after 7 o'clock, so we're coming into an action-packed second hour on this Tuesday. We're going to put the open forum in place so that you could call, but I'm asking this morning if you could keep the commentary extremely short, limited time for the open forum. You know, obviously we give you a little more time once there is the time. Today we don't have such. So nice and short, concise, and let's get as many calls in this morning. 624-8721, 627-8658. Faisabad, good morning.
Jason, morning, my brother. How are you?
I'm fine, Faizo. I'm listening.
Jason, yesterday I listened to that appropriation bill debate on key presentation, rather.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't impressed at all by the speaker, you know. I think he had to go and do some homework. But on the other hand, with the revelation of the state of the economy, I think PNM deliberately lost the election because of bad management, mismanagement, and no management, Jason. You know, we're going to fall off a cliff if they stay there, you know, brother. Mm-hmm. I'm glad to see UNC win so we could put back some semblance and order in the economy, yes, my brother. Have a nice day.
All the best, Faizo. Thanks for touching base. Let's continue with the calls this morning. Sawa, good morning.
Good morning, Jason.
Yes, Sawa, go ahead. I'm listening.
Jason.
Yeah.
So, Jason.
Yeah, man, morning.
Yeah, look, I misunderstand the statements that I would have made yesterday. All I was saying was that if it is that bad, he would have said that we will take care of our PNM children. What statement are you making? What discord, right? What discord, discrimination, and division are you creating by making that statement? What needs to be done, right? This whole issue where school violence is concerned needs to be addressed from the home, right? We need to go back old school. We could put in whatever remedial procedures and programs in place. That is not going to solve nothing much. It just needs to be solved from the home, right? That is one thing. And a second thing, right? Is it not surprising that all of a sudden Penelope Beckles has a voice? I mean, I understand that she's been elected to be the opposition leader, but why was she not so vociferous and speaking and saying something, right? When the see Rowley would have brushed her aside, because she, in my view, and also in your view, Jason, she's the best candidate for the PNM. We will both agree with that, right? But she would have been swept aside for the number one puppet, which would have been Stuart Young. Jason, you have a good day.
Olibas, and yeah, I mean, I do understand in terms of what you're saying. The point is a solid point that yes, the from home it must start to curb school violence. But I think the way you probably is explaining yourself yesterday, it left a big misunderstanding. So I'm glad you kind of cleared the air this morning. Because you see, race and politics, the reality is both sides, they play that card. And that's the reality, and it's unfortunate, and hopefully we could at some point move past that kind of rhetoric. But I hear you. Let's head to St. James. Good morning.
Hey, JW. Morning, bro.
Hi. Morning, my friend. Go ahead, man.
Hey, man. Blessings as usual to you and the team. I'm keeping my contribution brief. I'm now going to tune into this morning's episode, but I reviewed the one yesterday, last night, and I was really happy to see the conversation on labor with the individual. I think it was Mr. Simpson or whatnot.
Yes.
Man, I'm happy to see that as a member of the labor force and employee. I think we need a couple more of those conversations, not just on your platform, but to really understand and get some clarity on the balance between employers' rights and requests and employees' rights and requests are equal balance. That's one point. You would have raised a good point on a call. To understand I don't want to use the word race, but the party politics, all those conversations under the umbrella of party politics. I just sincerely hope with this new system and going forward, country first mentality, that we're able to really put those type of conversations in the past and really speak the best interest of all of us as citizens for the country going forward. So great job, great work, great show, and all the best.
All the best, St. James. And the caller who you saw yesterday, who you listened to last night, St. James, actually was the caller before you, and he was able to better explain himself this morning. I think he probably got tied up with the words yesterday, and it come out a kind of way. Because again, we don't deal with that kind of stuff here at all. We have to definitely hold ourselves to a higher standard. Let's take the final call in this morning. Thank you so much. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Jason. You hearing me? I hope you hear me.
Loud and clear.
A couple of quick things. This is Diego Martin inside the house.
Welcome.
As I always said, for us to move forward, we were enlightened with yesterday's Standing Finance. We have seen how deep the hole is, and in order to come out of that, we have to have proper people in proper places. 4 institutions leaders have to go. The central bank governor, the chairman of the EOT, the POLFC commissioners, and the Chief Justice, and as CCR is. Let me bring it to the front burner now. Yesterday during the Appropriations Committee, when they were debating $350,000 for the EOT chairman, for the EOT tribunal, nobody asked any question. You know why nobody asked the question? It would have opened a can of worms. 350, to me, equates to the Vera Bagan issue. She got 100,000 and for embarrassment, and she got 250,000 for vindictory callous behavior by the EOT alleged chairman. The other issues that we're spending a lot of money to the Auditor General. We spend a lot of money against the Police Service Commission in choosing a commissioner of police 3 times. So what I'm saying, these 4 organizations, we have to have new blood to basically move this country forward.
Diego, I want to thank you. And by all means, I want to expand on the point tomorrow, because we're going to open the lines, and tomorrow, lots of the discussion will be on the mid-year budget review. So we'll definitely open up and give you a chance to express yourself some more. Cameron Rose, he's out there in the Far East. He's out there in China. And by all means, he will be touching base with us, our digipreneur, live from China.
Rudy celebrates 10 years with his one-man show, Love Is, June 21st and 22nd at Queen's Hall. One children's show, 2 adult shows, 1 hilarious weekend. So wait, who on this Love Is show? Apple, Wetty, Flicky, Jessica, Cherise, Maya Kai, Mr. Trevor, Miss Janice. Alrighty, rock. Wait, I'm not hearing my name. We have John Paul from Canada, Penelope from Belmont, and Cecilia from Digo. I'm still not hearing my name. Tickets available at Dorman Shoe Store, Beachology, Mokorapa Road, Gate Square Stores, Eastgate Mall, Brentwood Plaza, The Falls at West Mall, C3 Center, San Fernando, Electronics Arima, Queen's Hall Box Office, and online at islandetickets.com. All year Roddy only using me and I not in the show who he feel I is. Bubbly Builder. For more info, call 376-5699 or 683-4843.
The detergent smells nice while washing, but when you use the new Downy Intense fabric softener, with its new multi-capsule fragrance, it releases an intense scent that lasts twice as long. With the new Downy Intense, you'll enjoy a rich and delightful fragrance that keeps you feeling fresh 24/7.
Are you ready to innovate, create, and lead? Welcome to Innovation Nation 2025, where big ideas turn into real-world solutions. This is your time to shine. Join Innovation Nation 2025 and shape the future one idea at a time. Registration ends Wednesday, June 30th.
Leilani Estate, Maracas St. Joseph, and Villa Ananda Tobago. Trusted for distinguished weddings and elite corporate events in breathtaking surroundings. Secure your private venue today. Call 334-4430 to book.
ChatGPT, I'm falling.
Failing grades? Contact Student Hub.
I ain't say failing, I say falling.
Then it's time to stop failing. Student Hub helps students succeed online. If school feels like a free fall, Student Hub helps you land on top.
I'm looking for a magic for this disaster of a war.
You need a master plan.
A what?
Kaleidoscope Weathermaster Exterior Latex Emulsion. It stands up to our wicked sun and crazy rain. It shields against fading, protects against mildew, and is crack resistant. This paint so tough that it is tried and tested against British standards and formulated with European raw material.
Kaleidoscope Weathermaster Exterior Latex Emulsion, the premium outdoor paint that protects and shields against fading. Available at hardware and Kaleidoscope color shops nationwide.
Have no fear, the digipreneur is here. Again, the power of technology. Not in Thailand this morning, but he's there in China for the Huawei conference at Huawei's campus. Clearly, you're in a restaurant. I could see the restaurant staff moving behind with plate in hand. Oh my goodness, we grab it. Is it what, dinner time?
Yeah, let me give you a little quick pan.
Good.
Everybody just give us a wave. Say hello.
Hello, guys. Hi. And that's not me, Asia, folks. That's not me, Asia. That's in China.
So we also have representatives from Panama here as well. So we're all here together, having some amazing time, seeing some incredible things. I know many of you have probably heard that China lives in the year 3000. Listen, I don't think we know.
Yeah, I've always heard friends who would have been to China, from Angelo to some friends who went up recently for a BYD conference. They said China is almost like, they say you feel like you're in the Jetsons. They say that, way in the West, we are about 30, 40 years behind. What are some of the standout observations when you touch mainland China, Karen Rose?
Oh boy, so I had to make some notes because, so basically why I'm here is there is a conference called the Mobile World Congress that's happening in Shanghai. And so right now I'm in Shenzhen, which is one of the newest cities in China. It's only 40 years old. It used to be a village and they've expanded it. So Shenzhen is a smart city. It is a real live smart city. And we were able to tour some of Huawei's HQ yesterday. And Jason, we got to see robotics, automation, AI touch almost every single industry. So some of the standout things, let me start with just coming out the airport. First things first, Jason, we know that when we come out of PRCO, and this is not to compare Trinidad at all, right? But just to give you a reference, when we come out of the airport and we have to pay for our parking, we would have our ticket, we would go to the kiosk and make the payment. Man, we came out the airport and whilst we're walking to the car, I see my driver just grab his phone. He takes a picture of a QR code on a random pillar and he makes the payment for his parking right there because obviously they're tracking when you come in and when you're leaving. He makes the payment on his phone. We didn't go nowhere. We just drove off.
Okay.
And that's just coming out the airport.
And then again, cash, I heard it's not applicable here. Everything, is it Alipay, WePay? What do they call it out there? WeChat? And Alipay?
So that's another good one, right? So when you come out the air, when you're like coming off the plane, there's big billboards everywhere saying, hey, these are all of the various payment tools that we offer. So yes, Alipay is one, WeChat Pay is one, but then there's like 20 other digital payment platforms that are widely used out here that you can download, set up, and then pretty much everything is going to be a digital payment. And I know the first thing people are going to think about is, okay, but what happens during a blackout? What happens if the phone dies? There are so many redundancies in place that even if there is a nationwide blackout, right? There are so many redundancies that keep the entire country running, even when there's a power failure. And again, just seeing these things in person, you're like, why isn't this a standard everywhere else outside of China?
I heard electric cars are like, I mean, so many electric cars now coming out of China. They're really, they've made leaps and bounds on that EV market. How it's looking for via the cars? Oh, this is a nice one. What we looking at here?
Man, that is one. So they have a suite of cars, right? The S7s, the S8s, the M7s. There's a car there called the Maestro that looks like a Maybach. There's just a lot of EV cars that are coming out. And even when you look on the road, 9 out of 10 cars on the road are an EV car. And then the other, 10% is like a Benz, a Porsche, a BMW. But the majority of cars on the road are EV cars in China, at least in Shenzhen.
So you would really say it's really like you're in Jetsons. You really feel like you're 10, 15, 20 years ahead.
Let me blow your mind right now, right? So I want to give a couple of things that I've seen that stood out. So one of the big ones is when we went to the Huawei HQ campus yesterday. In these campuses, in these training halls, you're not allowed to take pictures or videos, right? A lot of the IP, they just don't want it out. So we're there and we're seeing, our guide gave us, she's taking us around and she said one thing and she's like, the philosophy of China is that we looked at what are the most dangerous jobs in some of the critical fields and what are the jobs that we need to have running 24/7. There could not be no type of downtime. And they built technology to automate those things, right? So I'll give you an example. Coal mining is huge in China. So coal mining is also one of the most dangerous jobs in the world. So they've actually built autonomous coal mining machines, and they've also built autonomous construction trucks. So there's no cockpit. Where the cockpit is just one massive battery. And when the trucks are going around doing their thing, when they start to run low on juice, they automatically return to not a charging station, they return to a battery station where it then takes out the big battery out of the truck, puts in a fully charged battery, and that truck is back on its way. And that takes about 5 minutes for that entire process to happen. So you have autonomous coal mining machines, autonomous construction trucks driving around, and then another big one for autonomy was their ports. Their shipping ports are autonomous with minimal human intervention.
So I know it's a place.
And this isn't a concept; you're seeing it
in real time. So I know it's a landmass with 1 billion people. I could only imagine that will cause congestion. What's the road network like? What's the traffic management moving around? What you saw that we could probably take a little picture from, or take a page from there.
Jason, I don't know. I don't know if we're ready to make that investment, because Shenzhen, like I'm in Shenzhen right now. Shenzhen's a smart city. So part of the tour yesterday was we got to see the command center of Shenzhen. We are seeing all of the roads. We are seeing what has congestion. If there's too much rainfall in a particular area, they're tracking all of that, and they can then disperse assistance. If there's, like, let's just say there was heavy rainfall, like it's been raining all day today. If they realize that some of the manholes, the pipes have too much water in them, they could track that and then send out the necessary resources. They can see where all of the traffic congestion is happening and then reroute cars. So when you're on the road here, honestly, I've seen no traffic. And it's insane, because how is there not no traffic? And I think outside of the traffic, you're expecting things to be, it's 1 billion people. You're expecting it to be dirty. And China is one of the cleanest places I have seen with my own 2 eyes. And when you think about the amount of people and foot traffic that are here, it is absolutely insane. So even that video that you're seeing right now, they have their, like, when you're crossing the street, they have the lights on the ground so you know, okay, don't cross now. There's a very big scooter population. So what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of people driving scooters, and they're just driving through like the walking traffic. And again, I haven't seen an accident. I haven't seen nobody bump into anybody. It's just all part of the natural flow. And again, it's amazing to see. So what I mean, I don't know if Trinidad is ready to make the investment, is because they have, it's a smart city. They've built the entire infrastructure from ground up 40 years ago. Shenzhen was a village.
This facility is where?
Built up from the top.
What's this facility here?
This is Huawei's library in one of the campuses. So that campus that you're seeing right now, I'm actually at that campus right now. It's massive. I'm talking like, it looks like European castles and palaces everywhere. That is their library. There's over 170,000 books inside there. And what makes that special is that they are also book collectors. So you have books from some of the Chinese dynasties over 1,500 years ago that are vacuum sealed in that library on Huawei's compound. Absolutely amazing. Jason, just look at that. That is Huawei's, that's one of their campuses. And we had to take a train ride to get around it. And it takes we were on a train ride for like 20 minutes, and we're still on Huawei's campus.
Hold on,
it's massive.
You're on a train for 20 minutes and you're still on the campus?
I told you it's bigger than Port of Spain.
That sounds bigger than Port of Spain.
It's bigger than Port of Spain.
Wow.
It's bigger than Port of Spain. It's bigger than Port of Spain.
And this place you're saying was a village?
A village.
Wow.
Shenzhen was a village 40 years ago.
So Huawei, as we know, technology-based company, they've of course made some strides with their smartphones. Any interesting developments to report in that regard with their smartphones?
People are just going to get upset because they're not coming to the West because of geopolitics, right? So because of the ban 5 years ago between the rift between China and the US, Huawei can't sell any of the consumer products in the West. So we are not going to get them, right? But what they do is they do have a lot of infrastructure and ICT infrastructure. But when it comes to the phones, we went to one of the flagship stores yesterday to check out the devices. Man, we got to see the Huawei Mate XT, which is one of the most best devices on the market right now. And it's the first ever triple folded phone. So it's the size of like your regular phone, but then you could fold it out 3 times. So now you have a tablet in your hand. And it's, again, one of the most requested devices in the world that's just not coming to the West. But in person, oh my God, it is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful.
Karen, before we wrap things up, give us your social media handles so for those looking on, they can follow your trip in real time.
Yeah, so right now, if you are on Instagram, KERONROSC, Karen Rose, Instagram stories allows me to capture a lot of the details in real time. and then I'll record. I'm recording a lot of things, so when I go home, I can go ahead and post it and give everybody the inside look. But listen, right now, China needs to be studied. I would love for TNT to have more of our people in a variety of different fields come out and just soak in all of the knowledge, because it's not until you see these things in practice do you really get to appreciate it. And then, and again, I'm not comparing China to Trinidad, but China is years, decades ahead of everybody else. So to see it happening in real time and to touch and feel everything, listen, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, watching your stories right now. Your story is lit, bro. What's this white thing on the ground that people... Anyway, Karen, I'll call you. I'll have to call you. Because I'm seeing some kind of white thing on the pavement that people... What is this? Anyway. Folks, just check out Karen's stories.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Wow.
It's a lot.
This look like something out of the future.
And we're now starting. I'm here till Sunday. I'm here for a week. And every day it's packed. Actually, Jason, before I go, tomorrow, you would have heard about the drones in China that do all the deliveries. Tomorrow, I'm going to be going to a place where I'm going to get a live demonstration of us ordering like some food or some coffee and the drones coming to give it us. So again, stick around for the IG stories and check it out tomorrow.
Karen, enjoy yourself out there in China. And we will do another recap next week, Tuesday. All the best.
Absolutely. Take care.
That's right. Karen Rose living his best life. He's out there in China. And for everybody who would have been to that side of the world, Angelo and many others, I mean, they say the same thing, that China story and the narrative sometimes they present here in the West is totally different to when you step foot on the Chinese mainland. I'd love to go one day and really see it for myself. Let's head across to at least our conversations, a matter of fact, because this has been ongoing for a couple of years now, and we look forward every single Tuesday, Conversations on Cancer. Dr. Vasant Basdio joins me next as we treat with cancer screening for men.
When I am with my friends and those pains that knock me down arrive, I take Panadol Ultra because it relieves fast 5 types of tough pain and it does not irritate the stomach. That's why my choice is always Panadol Ultra to feel relief quickly and enjoy every second. Panadol, release starts here.
Southern Food Basket. Quality food to fill your basket. Get it all at Southern Food Basket. Fresh goods on every aisle with best prices. For the best mix and market. High quality, yes. It's affordable, spacious, and customer friendly. From the farm to the cart to your plate. Southern Food Basket. Good food at great prices. Come on home, everybody, don't you wait. Southern Food Basket's the best marketplace for you. Southern Food Basket. Quality food to fill your basket. Southern Food Basket. Quality food to fill your basket.
Welcome to ABC Doors and Windows, TNT's #1 destination for the best quality and widest variety of doors and windows. Enhance your space with our premium wooden, steel panels, fiberglass, and steel security doors, complemented by our aluminum, UPVC, and steel windows. Shop for the best quality and service at ABC Doors and Windows. Visit our impressive showroom at 1 Chancatrace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to get started. Trust ABC for a better choice.
Get the best in affordable eyewear. Frames with blue filter lenses and eye exam, $399. Single vision lenses with transitions on designer frames, $799. Progressive transitions with designer frames, $1,399. Happening only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
Welcome to Holiday Inn Express and Suites.
Do enjoy, Stacey. You want some coffee?
Can I have a
Perfect then.
That's exactly what we need.
Hi, the pool is this way.
Whatever you're here for, we're here for you. Stay smart at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites.
Dr. Vasan Basdio joins me on the Zoom line. We are treating with our conversations on cancer and more so today, screening for men. Dr. Basdio, great to see you. Thank you for the time. I look forward to, as always, our impactful conversation. Welcome.
Yes, Jason. Welcome. Thank you. And it's always good to be here with you, Jason, to have a on-the-ground conversation that we can really relate to the brothers out there and connect with them, not as a lecture or anything like that, but manos to manos, talk the parlance of the men on the street, and let's really get that sort of behavioral change that we wish to see in our brothers in Trinidad and Tobago, and by extension, the world. Yeah.
Indeed, and we're just coming out of the Father's Day weekend, and gone are the days where as men, we wait until the very last to go check a medical professional. Gone are the days where every pain is gas and you ignore it. Sometimes, you're feeling something and it's there, and I'm hoping, at least for those looking on this morning, you always talk about early detection, preventative health care. Walk me through some of the major red flags that if you feel a pain in a certain area, or if there's a particular and let's be real this morning, sometimes men realize something is wrong if there's a sexual dysfunction. If for some reason, something not working out in that regard, then you realize, well, I had to check myself. So let's treat with it. Look at some of the red flags that we have to treat with, and what that might lead to.
That's a great place to start this morning. But Jason, just to say that, you said gone are the days, but a local study recently showed that only about 30% of men who actually have symptoms come forward and get health care. So that's 70% of men will be sitting with symptoms and not seeking health care in a timely fashion.
For real? People still operating on without
of men.
Because I see we having these conversations all this time.
All the time, yeah.
Wow.
That's an alarming statistic.
That's alarming.
The other thing to put into perspective to the men out there, listen to this one. The latest report by the UN's population studies show that women are living to on average, the age of 79.9 or something like that, 80 years. Jason, make a guess what the men are living to in Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, I know for years, I used to hear women would live to 77 and men would have been 70. Right. That is what I grew up knowing as the age expectancy.
Good. That actually was the data before. So the more updated data is telling us, yes, Trinis are living a little bit longer. So the women gone from 77, 76 to 80. Yeah. And the men went from 70 to 72. But that's an 8-year difference that on average the women in Trinidad are living longer than men. So this is where we as family physicians here at the Trinidad Tobago Cancer Society are strongly advocating to come out and get screened. And the symptoms for men are usually very mild in many instances, and we wait until those mild symptoms develop into more moderate and severe symptoms, and then we come seeking help when we have more what we call complications. So for men, particularly what affects us is prostate cancer. It's the highest cancer affecting men in Trinidad and Tobago, followed by lung cancer and then colorectal cancer. Now, in general, for cancer, you kind of have more tired than usual. You might find like your energy levels are not there. You're exercising, or it's difficult to get out of bed. You may find that you're losing weight, you're just lack of energy. There's a really big red flag that men should come out and see. Now, when it comes to the whole men genital and genitourinary system, you may have what we call lower urinary tract symptoms, and you might find that, your libido is changed, the function is not as it used to be. You may also find your ability to pass urine. You may have urgency, frequency, finding yourself getting up often, can't able to hold up the urine. And these are signs in the more mild stages, but especially things like blood in the urine, any sorts of blood in the back pass from the stool as well too. These are things that you don't want to wait for symptoms. And that's now the point of screening. Screening is before you even have any symptoms, go to your family doctors, go to your urologists, go to your doctors and have a conversation. Say, look, I just want to get my annual checkup. And that's where the test, the prostate-specific antigen blood test, the PSA test, is so important. In fact, we've kind of gone away from doing the digital rectal examination, Jason. It's no longer a mandatory test. It's a conversation we have, and we say, look, based on your family history, based on your symptoms, we could just do the blood test, and that's it. So not all visits will require the DRE, as most men, we fear that. Like, I don't know how in our communities and our culture we made this into such a talking point in our men lives, and wait, boy, you went to the right doctor, you get your prostate check, and it's no longer that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, it's a serious discussion, a serious consideration, but how does one differentiate that something might be wrong as opposed to the natural phenomenon of testosterone getting a bit lower, and as you get older, you don't really have that same drive you would have had probably, let's say, in your 20s. How can one differentiate?
Yeah, so testosterone from the ages of probably 25 to 30, actually, it starts to slowly, if we look at the curve, come down. And that will make a change gradually in your bone health, your muscle mass, your libido, your hair, all these things as well, all these androgenic effects of testosterone. But if you suddenly notice a change that is not gradual and it is very sudden, within months, within weeks, within a half a year, and you find there's a rapid change in your baseline status, definitely don't wait for your annual checkup. Come in and speak to your physicians and stuff, and get a full consultation about it there. And this point on screening, we really at the Cancer Society encourage men to come out and get screened. So much so that for this month of June, Men's Health, we are offering free PSA testing at our headquarters at 69 Dundonald Street in Port of Spain. And this is through the kind partnership and support of CIBC. And we're really grateful, and we want men to come out and take advantage of it. A simple blood test can detect early and prevent the outcomes of prostate cancer that can lead to very serious complications.
Yeah, well said. When we consider, well, you said women are now living up to about 80, men going to about 72. I wonder if, and again, don't get me wrong, women go through some of these same burdens and stress, the same perils of life that we have to face. Women go through the same, but we see some men not being able to cope with the pressures that come with life, with responsibility, with the weight that might be on a man's shoulder. Some obviously turn to the bottle, some turn to the smokes, some do the both to ease the tension, to self-medicate, as it were. What you want to say to that man this morning who that seems to be the only way for them to ease the tension?
Jason, that's not just to that man. That is to myself. That is to you. That is to all my family, friends, and the man on the street, and everyone. Look, between 2020 and 2023, there was something like 450 male suicides in Trinidad and Tobago. We have one of the highest rates of male suicides in the world. And, mental health is something that we bottle up. We don't express our frustrations or disappointments. We have been conditioned as a society that men will endure, men will take, and we don't respond. We don't talk about our feelings. We don't have an opportunity to express how we are feeling, how we are frustrated with. And then this sort of bottling up, Jason, leads to men either acting out impulsively through anger, through substance abuse, so things like alcohol, cigarettes, and then now these things, it's like taking up a poison. It destroys the health of the man, and society is not evolving to allow our men to be more vulnerable, be more expressive of their emotions, and have more open, honest conversations. We are still treating men as these sort of robotic, hard, macho, and that is leading to this sort of bottling up of emotions. So to the men out there, look, let's change the narrative in our group chats. Let's change the conversations and the lines after the football sweats, and we're knocking back and we're relaxing a little bit. Make it comfortable for our brother to speak about how he is feeling. Make it normalized in society that a man could speak to a woman about his feelings and not be seen as a weak man. Women should also encourage men to be more vocal and get out there and get help, because there are alternatives to the to the anger, to the substance abuse, to the bottling up of emotions, and getting involved, speaking to a therapist. That's a very helpful thing, and I've personally benefited from those things as well, Jason. Yeah.
Dr. Basdio, thanks for sharing, and as always, very important conversation. We will continue next week, God spare, and have yourself, as always, a productive week ahead.
Thank you, Jason. Always a pleasure to hear, and to the men out there, we are in this together. Let's be our brother's keeper. All the best.
Yeah, I couldn't say it better myself. Being our brother's keeper is so important. Dr. Vasant Basdio touching base. Up next, the Mind Your Business segment. Yes, we're pushing it up a little bit earlier this week. We are touching base with a man we consider. And here the interesting, the term, agripreneur. That's right, so we had a digipreneur, we have an agripreneur coming in and telling us what to plan for Corpus Christi ahead.
Downy Unstoppables are laundry scent boosters. Add a capful before each wash and you'll be amazed. The blast of freshness that lasts and lasts. Whoa, what a blast! Even at the end of the day, you'll still be enjoying that blast of freshness in your clothes. Downy Unstoppables, the blast of freshness that lasts and lasts.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Inside every cell is a metabolic engine, AMPK. Berberine Plus helps ignite that engine, turning sugar into energy and fat into fuel. Whether you're managing sugar or trimming fat, Berberine Plus supports your goals naturally. Berberine Plus, now available at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide.
Quality food to fill your basket. Get it all at Southern Food Basket. Fresh goods on every aisle with best prices. For the best mix and market, high quality, yes. It's affordable, spacious, and customer friendly. From the farm to the cart to your plate, Southern Food Basket, good food at great prices. Come on home, everybody, don't you wait. Southern Food Basket's the best marketplace for you. Southern Food Basket. Quality food to fill your basket. Southern Food Basket. Quality food to fill your basket.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
Sportsmanship is when an athlete walks off the court and you can't tell if he won or lost because he carries himself with pride either way. This quote is an embodiment of sport, and for me, sport is an embodiment of life. We are where you are.
Tune in to Betterments with host Space, Monday through Thursday, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. for a program
that educates and is solution-based. Base tackles the issues that matter to you, providing a platform to speak your mind and find solutions. That's Betterment with Base. With a focus on education and resolution, this is all about making things better for you. So if you want to make a difference and have your voice heard, tune into Freedom 106.5 FM and join us for Betterment with Base, Monday through Thursday from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Better for you. Only on Freedom 106.5 FM, where we believe that your voice matters.
Ask the Doctor's new season is here as Dr. Joel Tilak Singh covers a range of topics and, most importantly, answers all your medical questions.
Join us on Ask the Doctor live on CNC3 on Thursdays at a new time of 8:30 p.m. with a rerun on Fridays at 11 a.m.
Well, it's your Mind Your Business segment, and we welcome an agripreneur, a man who is able to marry agriculture and entrepreneurship, and he's dealing with the hydroponics. So everything is above ground, and by all means, it's a fantastic setup. With us, we welcome Elon Robinson. My brethren,
man.
Great to see you, man.
Nice to be here, man.
My goodness, you know, I was not telling you about your line of work, your endeavor, your vocation, the kind of respect it receives in places like Canada, Germany. And I'm hoping that one day we could get to that same place in Trinidad where we understand the importance of the farmer, of those who are into hydroponics, like yourself, or even those who take to the traditional planting via the soil. But I'm watching your setup. This is a massive setup.
Yeah. A real massive setup. Real nice setup.
Lettuce?
Yeah, well, it's about 3 different types of lettuce. Then we have Swiss chard, we have kale, we have chive, we have celery.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell me about the journey. I mean, at what point the light bulb went off in your mind and you said, you know what, this is the road I'm going?
Well, honestly, it was about 7 years ago. I ended up getting laid off. I was a combination welder. I ended up getting laid off. And I just say, boy, as a welder, you always, like sometimes, like you work for like 4 months, and then you're home for a month, then you work for like 6 months, and you're home for like 2 months. So I just say, Elon, this is not the life that you want now. You want something sustainable. So I look around, I do a little bit of self-thinking and things, and I say, boy, farming is something where people have to eat now, boy. And I went and do some research in farming, and I find, well, hydroponics. I say, yeah, boy. That is it. I start off with like about 1,000 plants. I start off small, and now I'm close to 10,000 plants a month.
Wow. And the setup is what area?
South Rosewood side.
My goodness. So this is what? This is land, your personal land. This is land that you because I watch you set up this.
I wish.
As far as the eye can see, I see it is only lettuce, you know.
I wish it was personal land. Well, we live on the land, but we do have the land tenure now, boy. So that making it hard, to do anything then now, boy.
Yes, and you know, up to this morning, we spoke about that and the issues with land tenure. I'm hoping the new agriculture minister and those charged with that responsibility could change the reality for you.
They need to, well, because imagine, well, I in farming 7 years and can't get access to a lot of stuff. Because at the land tenure, I find, well, like, they should set up some kind of system, even, well, I guess some field officers, and they come in and visit and see, well, if you're continuing, well, you're farming, and give it, because it's real difficult. Real difficult.
Well, I mean, I hope it works out in that regard, but the good thing is at least the business is operational and it's running. Give me the average call time. What time you will start, what time you'll finish, what's your day like, or average day?
Well, 4 to half 4 is when I just get up. I get up, I say my prayers, I go on the farm. Well, sometimes, well, I just have to pick lettuce, so I get up, I pick lettuce, I come back inside, well, I relax, well, a little bit, I spray my crops. And then, well, like in the evening time, well, I go replant and stuff and thing. Yeah, well, but during the day, there's a little time where I could like relax. So I just try to do my work early in the morning, then, well, in the evening because you know the kind of sun we get now.
yeah. But I mean, let's go back to some of the pictures here because this is a fantastic setup. Obviously, Corpus Christi around the corner. We know the tradition is your plan for Corpus Christi. Is that something you adhere to? And if so, you know, what's a nice piece of advice you could tell to those looking on who want to get their planting journey started? Look at the size of the lettuce, like one lettuce.
Yeah.
I don't realize.
One lettuce.
A monster lettuce?
Yeah.
The lettuces? What is that? Wow.
Yeah. Well, so for Corpus Christi, I don't really think like with me but for my mom, she does always plant. But so she go plant peas, corn, and sorrel.
Yeah.
But it's a good time to plant, because it mark start a rainy season now, so the soil does be kind of wet and moist and stuff and thing so people.
Speak about rainy season, because you're doing hydroponics, because your crop is above ground, the floods, the heavy rains really will not impact your supply.
It won't impact it as bad, but it does, because like when the rain fall, it have a lot of diseases that does come. So like fungus, and bacteria, them actually like, that kind of cool weather now, boy. So that does spread fast. And the thing and all too, like when you're going and spray your crops, and then the rain fall, all of your stuff come, like it wash off now, boy.
Come like a null and void, yes.
Yeah, null and void, so it come like the cost of production, it does be higher now, boy. So it's not only like with the flood, then alone is plenty other factors where the rainy season it does.
Wow, I mean it's a timing and it's a rhythm.
Yeah.
I'll give you a chance as we wrap things up to put your information out in terms of, you know, wholesalers, those who want to touch base with you, and just general advice for those who want to probably start their farming journey.
Well, to contact me,
thank you.
My number is 343-8979. On Facebook, Better Grow Hydro Farm. On TikTok is Elon Robinson. Yeah.
That's right. Look at the size of them lettuce now, boy. That is way. Lettuce so big in my life. Let me tell you, Elon, congrats, bro. Thanks so much for being here and thanks for the inspiration, man. I'm sure you would have inspired many looking on today.
A lot of youths.
That's right.
A lot.
Our agripreneur, Elon Robinson, for our Mind Your Business. And by all means, today could start the journey for yourself, you know? So take that inspiration from Elon. We take the final pause and we come back to officially wrap things up after these.
People come to me and they say they get discomfort when they have ice cream. Sensodyne gives you long-lasting protections against sensitivity. I recommend Sensodyne because it works. It's brilliant.
Ready to turn heads and steal the spotlight? Then head to Rosari Bridal Couture, your all-in-one fashion destination for every celebration. From stunning bridal lehengas to simple everyday shalwas, sparkling jewelry, affordable kids wear, stylish Muslim clothing, and even puja essentials, we've got it all under one roof. Get free footwear with any bridal outfit and get free matching bangles with kids wear. Need the perfect fit? Our in-house tailor is here for you. We're open 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Just take the Southern Highway to Brentwood, Chaguanas and call 723-9099 for more info. Rosari Bridal Couture, where fashion meets celebration, all inclusive. Discover a breakthrough in healthcare at Liberty Medical Center, where expert care is affordable. See top specialists in endocrinology, diabetes care, dermatology, psychiatry, psychology, urology, obstetrics, and gynecology. We offer ultrasounds, x-rays, and ECGs. With full diagnostic services, an in-house pharmacy, and compassionate care, you'll leave feeling better than you came in. Visit us at 154 Point de Pierre Road, San Fernando, or call 610-4562. Liberty Medical Center. Your health, our mission.
With Redoxytose Plus, you'll notice their defenses kicking in. Strong defenses look so good on your kids.
Rudy celebrates 10 years with his one-man show, Love Is, June 21st and 22nd at Queen's Hall. 1 children show, 2 adult shows, 1 hilarious weekend. So wait, who on this love this show? Apple, Wetty,
Flicky,
Jessica, Cherise, Maya Kai,
Mr. Trevor,
Miss Janice.
Alrighty, rock.
Wait, I not hearing my name. We have John Paul from Canada, Penelope from Belmont, and Cecilia from Diggle. I still not hearing my name. Tickets available at Dorman Shoe Store, Beachology, Mokurapa Road, Gate Square Stores, Eastgate Mall, Brentwood Plaza, The Falls at West Mall, C3 Center San Fernando, Electronics Arima, Queen's Hall Box Office, and online at islandetickets.com. All year road, you only using me and I not in the show who he feel I is. Bob the Builder. For more info, call 376-5699 or 683-4843.
Crack the science of stronger hair. New Fructis with keratin, protein, or biotin in reloaded systems. Up to 72 hours frizz control, 48 hours definition, or 72 hours thicker looking hair. New Fructis by Garnier Natural.
Well, we're looking to pull the curtains down as mentioned during the course of the program tomorrow. The mid-year review recap. That's going to happen after the news. So no matter what's established via the mid-year review, the experts, those who understand the figures and how the figures move, will sit to the analysis. Of course, tomorrow I'll be doing that pre-mid-year budget review assessment, and I'll have that conversation. But of course, tomorrow, when it's all said and done, you can look out for that very special feature after the 7 p.m. news. Have yourselves a great one, TNT. Be safe today, and God spare. I'm back for more tomorrow, Wednesday, the short week. Yeah, it's a nice week ahead. Of course, 2 holidays, but we'll be here, shortened versions of the program for Thursday and Friday. So, great to see you as always, and as mentioned, God spare. I'm back for more tomorrow.
The Morning Brew is brought to you by Omega XL. Live long.